What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And I want to thank a lot of you viewers who asked about my wife. She had a procedure today where they did epidural shots in her back to try to find the source of her kidney pain. And she did get through the process. They did do the process successfully, although it does not look like it will be helping her, but she is okay. She's back at home and she's in a lot of pain. So hopefully she'll be on tomorrow to update you guys. For those of you guys who were asking, I had a similar procedure done this year because I have a spine problem where one of my vertebrae is not fused correctly, and I ruptured it over the last year with holding the baby and bouncing him. And it didn't work for me either, although it's slightly different procedure. They're testing to see where the pain was for her. So again, thank you guys so much for those of you guys that were concerned and wished her well. We appreciate it very much. Regarding stimulus, I have several different things. Number one, there is a group of state governors who are banding together from both the Republicans and Democrats. So this is states from both sides that are banding together to try to put pressure on Congress, both Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden from the Democrats and Mitch McConnell from the Republicans. These state governors are going to put pressure on Congress to get a stimulus package done now before the end of the year. I will be having more details for you guys on this breaking news story as I get more information about it and what they plan to do. Also, I have more stimulus for a state coming up here in a few minutes, an entire state that's passing stimulus to their residents. I'll get to that here in just a few minutes. Also, don't forget to like this video. It just helps out our channel with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. Next up, the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the House, at least for the time being. I'm going to give you some more information about how she might be kicked out of the speaker position right after this. And Chuck Schumer, who is the Senate Minority Leader from the Democrats, released a press release today urging Mitch McConnell to come to the negotiating table this week to pass a bipartisan relief stimulus bill. The highlights of this bill say Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer today sent a new letter to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell requesting he join them in the negotiating table this week to produce a bipartisan relief bill. Bipartisan would mean both sides have support and they could pass it immediately. In this letter, Speaker Pelosi and Schumer noted that earlier this year during the negotiations, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and the Democrats agreed to compromise on a relief bill and lowered their request by $1.2 trillion. That's the Democrats they did. Since this time, Senator Mitch McConnell lowered his proposal from $1 trillion to $500 billion, despite the consensus economists and experts requiring a much larger injection of aid. In this public letter, the Democrats are urging Mitch McConnell to come to the negotiating table and to pass a stimulus before year's end. Now, according to Republican Senator from Florida, Marco Rubio, they are working on a stimulus package right now. The Republican senators are working on it and plan to announce it potentially this week. He's saying it will be this week. It's already going to be Wednesday, but they are saying they're trying to get it out this week. This will let us know where Mitch McConnell and the Republican senators stand at this point. I'm expecting their bill to be a similar bill to the HEALS Act, which they drafted several months ago, which is not necessarily a skinny bill and is expected to be around $1 trillion. We're also expecting in there to be $1,200 stimulus checks and checks to all dependents this time around. We're expecting either $500 or $1,000 for dependents, and also an unemployment extension of, I'm expecting it to be $300 per week, with probably a retroactive period of 1 to 2 months in addition. So you'd be getting a 1 to 2 month lump sum retroactive unemployment boost all at once at the beginning, and then from there on out, I'm expecting $300 per week from the Republicans. Now, even their own Democrats are not happy with Nancy Pelosi's progress and her delaying of accepting the stimulus package that the White House was giving them before the election, which was $1.9 trillion. Democratic Representative Alyssa Slotkin said she won't support Nancy Pelosi's bid to serve as Speaker again in the latest series of indications that Democrats are facing internal division. She says, quote, "I will not be voting for Nancy Pelosi. I have no idea if people are going to run against her or who might run against her, and I will, of course, have this conversation directly with her. But I believe we need new leadership. I would love to see some more Midwesterners because if you look across the leadership, I respect these people, but it's New York and California," saying that those are all the leaders. She says, quote, "There's absolutely no accountability from the speaker," aka Nancy Pelosi. "We should have won big, but the defund the police issue, the Green New Deal, those issues killed our members. Having everybody walk the plank on qualified immunity with the cops. That just hurt a lot of members, and no one's taking responsibility for it." There has been a big push from Democrats to have Nancy Pelosi replaced as the House Speaker for the next 2 years in Congress, which starts in January, and to have Hakeem Jeffries take her place instead as House Speaker. Democrats have actually been quoted as saying that anybody but Nancy Pelosi would be better in that position, and anybody that's reelected would be better because at least it's, quote, not Nancy Pelosi. Unfortunately, both Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell won at least their elections for their seats by landslides. So, people in their districts and states, Nancy Pelosi is from San Francisco, California. Her district votes for her. And Mitch McConnell is from Kentucky. Both of them were reelected by landslides. And I don't know what to tell you. I mean, people keep voting for him over and over and over. They've both been in Congress for over 30 years each. Mitch McConnell is actually 78 years old and has just been reelected to another 6-year term in the Senate. And he's actually been in the Senate since 1985. And this 6-year term will take him until he's 84 years old. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, is currently 80 years old and has been in Congress since 1987, although she will only serve a 2-year term because U.S. House of Representatives only serve 2-year terms, and she has not yet been reelected to the Speaker of the House position. If Nancy Pelosi isn't reelected to Speaker of the House position, she'll basically lose almost all of her power because the Speaker position and the Senate Majority Leader position comes with tremendous, tremendous power because they get to basically control the negotiations, what goes on in the Senate, what goes on in the House. Mitch McConnell can block bills completely. For example, the HEROES bill was passed earlier in the summer, and Mitch McConnell didn't even put it on the floor to be voted on because he thought it was too much money and his Republicans weren't going to vote for it anyways. So they literally didn't even vote on it. That's the power that comes with the Speaker and the Senate Majority Leader positions. Also, while we're waiting on Congress to pass these stimulus checks, unemployment, mortgage relief, and so on and so forth, we have a lot of states, cities, and counties that are passing stimulus relief right now. And I'm trying to bring you guys these programs as I find out about them in every single video or at least once per day. And today's stimulus for the state of Texas comes from a viewer. Today's mortgage and stimulus relief for the state of Texas comes from a viewer named Unforgiven774. Thank you so much for helping out our community of viewers. He says, "Jimmy, I found something on Texas stimulus relief or mortgage relief. It's called the One Star Foundation. Just Google Texas COVID Relief Fund. I found this on the texas.gov website. Under the CARES Act, $5 billion in funding was made available to local governments in Texas and is being reimbursed through direct expenses for the pandemic." So this is really good news for Texas. I did do some digging, and there's actually several different programs. Just pause the video on here if you are from Texas or if you know somebody from Texas, and you can kind of read through this. In Texas, there's actually several different websites and foundations and government stimulus helps and different things like that. This first website is the Texas Department of Housing Community Affairs. The next one is tdem.texas.gov. And the last one is the One Star Foundation, as our viewer referenced in the comment down below. So if you're from Texas or you know anybody from Texas, I recommend you look into these programs, because a lot of these rent and mortgage relief programs will actually give you a check or pay your rent for several months. We've been seeing several programs that will actually give you up to $5,000 to help you pay your rent during this pandemic. And again, that was for the state of Texas. I have multiple states coming out. I will be researching this every single day for you guys with states and major cities and counties. I'm going to try to bring you guys one per episode because, again, if you're from the state of Texas, any of the other states or counties, or you know anybody from any of these areas, these programs are helping out millions of Americans right now with basically stimulus money, checks, rent relief, whatever you want to call it. It's all basically the same thing, money in your pocket to help you guys out right now during this pandemic. And I will be having more for you guys in the future. So make sure to subscribe with the bell icon on down below so you don't miss out on new videos. We go live at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And share this video. Click the share button down below so others like you will know what is going on with the stimulus. You can click on this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income by selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.